Up to.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have this here. Hold on. Hi, everybody. They moved some stuff around. Let it go a little longer this time.
You did. That was a great job. I'm very proud of you.
Attention to it. Hi, everybody.
I'm glad Charles got the alert because my phone did not give me the alert that we started. So
Oh, shoot.
I'm just happy to have found the podcast and found the Geek Spot with all of you.
I am so happy that everyone's here. I can't wait for Dom to show up. Or maybe Dom might not show up because he's getting his butt whooped in fantasy football. I am happy to see you and everyone else on our show. I had an opening thing and it's just gone. But just so go ahead.
Good.
It's
you're doing great.
Yeah. No, I have stage fright.
Oh, well, it happens.
9 episodes in and
happens to the best of us.
Hi, how you doing?
So I'm good, man. I'm good. Busy week as always. Lots of stuff to watch.
Yeah, lots.
I know you are all caught up. I can't wait to talk Dial of Destiny like we talked about last week. And
I did.
You swore up and down you were going to have it watched and we'd be ready to go and give our 4-month-old review of that late-breaking Harrison Ford movie that revitalized his career along with Shrinking this year. 2 of your favorite things of the year. Can't wait.
It's going to be 4 years and 1 week. 4 months and 1 week.
Is it? So yeah, so that and we got the Harley Quinn finale. Let's talk about that a little bit. Daryl Dixon premiered, which for anybody fans of the Walking Dead universe, we got some more dates that dropped.
That's where I know that name from.
For when the stuff comes back out, Fear the Walking Dead is going to wrap up its final episodes on October 22nd. Daryl Dixon dropped now. Luckily, AMC has a whole bunch of stuff loaded in the chamber since they filmed everything forever and a day ago before the strike happened, it seems like. So we should be continuing to get content from them for the next 6 months.
Woo.
Maybe, which would be good. So we'll talk about that new Daryl Dixon show in a little bit too. And then, whatever else pops up. I feel like there was some Star Wars stuff that came out last week. This Tuesday's messing with me though, man, with Tuesday episode drop. For them, it's a long time to try and remember what happened on that episode that I slept mostly through. But we'll talk about that as we get towards the end. So how about you? What have you been up to?
I did not watch Dial of Destiny. Let's just get that right out of the way now. I had a very busy weekend. I went out Friday night for a little bit. Reconnected with some friends that I haven't seen in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
It's
like a long time.
Yeah. Then I went to the Phillies game Saturday with I was 40 of my cousins and their kids and my kids didn't go. They don't like sports. So we were going for the 6:05 Saturday night start. We got there around 3:30 into the Wells Fargo parking lot, and Bago was set up, tables were brought out, snacks were put out, and then the skies opened up and dumped water on us. So we put everything away, sat in our cars, waited a little bit. The rain let up. We got back outside, started setting up the Bago. This went on for an hour and a half as the rain just kept coming in waves.
Yeah, it was crazy on Saturday.
And the lightning strikes were cool to watch. But we did end up getting in. And we got the game in and we won. It was a good game. And then Sunday, there was a foosball game that started out great. Quarter and a half. Great Eagles football. And then Jake Elliott saved the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was a lot of football on Sunday.
There was.
There was, the Ravens played, and somebody on this has Sunday ticket now. So I actually had no less than 4 games on my TV at all times.
So the Ravens game, I picked them in my knockout pool this week.
It's good.
As a lot of my people at work picked Baltimore this week. So it's a
Yeah, well, they should have destroyed the Texans. Instead, it was much closer for most of the game than it should have been.
eventually I'm gonna have to pick the Texans though. So it's a knockout pool, like it's a suicide pool,
Yeah.
but
Well, you won't have to pick the Texans.
well, you have to pick every team once. Or
There's
you
not
can't
32 games though, so
I'm
you're
sorry,
okay.
you're right. You can't pick the same team twice.
Yeah.
So you're right. Um, but it's not one loss and you're out. It's they do it by record, so they go by record.
Oh yeah. Oh look, Dom's here.
Oh, so and I'm in this fantasy football league.
Oh yeah.
My team name is the Duke Silver Trio. That was the name of
Yeah.
Ron Swanson's alter ego, Duke Silver, on Parks and Rec. And my first game this week, I'm playing. I can't think. Dom, how do you say your last name again? Because I'm playing Dom. And
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm currently a 90% win probability to Dom's 10%. So I'm beating him 68-60. It would have been a much better game if Joe Burrow had actually decided he wanted to play football this week, I think.
He did not enjoy it. I like that we Dom, for those of you that can't see, just pronounced his name in the chat, which doesn't help Frank
Nope.
with not being able to pronounce anything.
Doesn't-
So that worked out well.
Doesn't help me at all. But I no, I think I know. I think I know how to say it, but I don't want to. I'll screw up famous people's names, but I won't screw up somebody's name that I know. I don't know how to say your last name. It's like Kayed.
Yeah, just like that. So yeah, in my fantasy, I'm playing a former bandmate of mine.
Oh no, I was going to mention that next. Go ahead, Jack.
Who is I'm projected to win 95-5 because there was this kicker that played in a game last night who actually got negative points for him. So I'm beating him more than I would have been. I don't know if anybody watched football last night, but the New York which team is that? The New York
the football Giants.
Yeah. The Giants played the Cowboys, and as much as I dislike both of those teams, one made out a little better than the other one last night.
Look, it's early. They're going to beat their chests for a couple weeks and be out of the playoffs in a month. Yeah. It's fine.
And who had Travis Kelce? Did Dom have Travis Kelce?
I wasn't done going down. Dom had Travis Kelce, who did not play, which would have made a huge difference because my tight end Dallas Goedert got looked at once the whole game and then not at all. So
sounds like they pretty much played the same game, Dallas and Travis.
Yeah, no. Otherwise, it was a pretty evenly matched game all around. Tom left a lot of points on his bench, but who knew? He had J.K. Dobbins, who probably would have given him the win.
Oh well, that's a shame because Dobbins is gone for the year.
Really?
He tore his Achilles, as he's been known to do every season that he's ever played football.
Oof.
Actually, it was his ACL. I think it was his Achilles. It was his other ACL last year. So he's just seeing how many he can tear through.
Wow.
Interior crux ligament, I believe.
I don't think the Eagles got lucky. I think Jake Elliott got lucky because when he missed that first extra point, I called Jake Elliott in a group text the Aaron Nola of the Eagles.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If anybody knows, Aaron Nola is a pitcher for the Phillies who is questionable in his ability to make it through a whole game. So that's exciting fantasy stuff. Let's hop back over to
yes, please,
the Geek Spot side of things.
Yes.
So where you want to start?
I don't really have a lot to say because I didn't watch I watched the Ahsoka. You
watched Wheel of Time, of course, right? It's like your favorite book series.
I watched Winning Time, and I did watch Wheel of Time.
Okay.
So you take the floor now because you watched more than I did.
So I'll hit the couple things to start out. So Daryl Dixon, the latest spinoff of The Walking Dead, has launched this past week. It's completely removed from everything else we've seen so far, where it is somehow Daryl Dixon wakes up in France from Virginia, where we left him off.
Oh,
last or PA. I don't remember where we left him off. So wherever the
right away.
Commonwealth is in the stories. So we left him. He wakes up on a beach in France, and then we go from there. And he's now has to take this chosen child. I don't know if you ever saw Logan. It's pretty much Logan. Is what it feels like that this monastery and there's going to be people hunting him because he's um,
I did.
did bad things. Now he's not like a super. They try and make him out to be this real badass character and like real tough guy and this and that. But really, all he's done his entire history of The Walking Dead is just get the crap knocked out of him all the time. But he keeps getting back up, so that's why he's a tough guy. But we have this trope where like tough guys can't actually be tough; they have to get knocked down a lot and like come back at the last second. Blah 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 blah. So that's where we're at with Daryl Dixon. But the show looks interesting. It's brought some new flavors into the bad people. There's still some zombies and the periphery, and
Okay.
we got some new zombie types that their blood is acidic and burns.
Oh,
So that's a new piece in. I think it might be related to some of these were in like a greenhouse. So I'm intrigued to see how they do this. A lot of the other shows have also hinted that France was where it kind of escalated before other places and has been more advanced in finding a cure. So I'm intrigued to see if we get into that a little bit with it too. That was hinted at in the Beyond the Walking Dead show that they had out last year. So we'll see. It's fun so far, though. I'm enjoying it. Daryl's still a good character, even though he just gets knocked down a lot and has to keep, making his way through. He rarely wins a fight by actually winning a fight.
making his way downtown,
Yeah, pretty much.
walking
And
fast.
then just real quick, I'll hit the Harley Quinn finale. The show continues to just be fantastic.
You said that. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's so Dom's asking how to get to France. We don't know. I think he was on a big boat and got thrown into a small boat and then woke up in France. Part of the story is going to be told in flashbacks this season, it seems like. So we're going to get how he got there as well. But they're going to leave a little bit of that to mystery as we go through the season. So they've got a couple story plot lines working already, and it looks like it's going to be more interesting than some of the Walking Dead stuff the last few years. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, good.
But Harley Quinn, yeah, it just continues to be a great story between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and how the two of them make it through together as a couple and support each other and do their thing and you also get all sorts of random comic fun from a character standpoint and Lex Luthor and Superman make cameos and Commissioner Gordon. Haven't had Batman in a while because he's locked up in prison. Because why not? So, but yeah, I would continue to recommend Harley Quinn. I know it's on Frank's list, probably somewhere in the 700 or 800s of things
Uh,
that he has to
no, it's
watch.
in my top 10.
Well, that's good because you can still just jump in and get there. It's on HBO Max, which is also airing a lot of the Walking Dead stuff. If you want to get into both and have Max, go for it.
I think I still do have Max.
Good. See, look at that. You can go
Oh, I
right
do have
into.
one other thing.
Oh, look at that.
I watched Billions.
Oh, is Billions back?
Oh yeah, they're like 4 episodes, 4 or 5
Oh,
episodes.
yeah. I'm like 4 or 5 seasons since I watched it.
Yeah, it's good. It's wordy, is what it is. It's a lot
Is
of
is
dialogue.
everybody back?
Mostly.
Okay. Is Axe back?
He was in the first episode and has not made a reappearance yet.
Okay.
So it's the last. This is the final season of it before possible spinoffs and stuff.
Got it. Because we need. Well, look, it's they enjoy spinoffs.
Speaking of spinoffs,
Yeah.
was unintentional,
Was it?
but Frasier is getting a reboot.
Okay.
Well, not so much a reboot. It's more of a kind of a reboot. So Kelsey Grammer is going to return as Frasier Crane after almost 20 years away from the screens. And a new synopsis reveals story details about the upcoming reboot. And it's very sad. There's a very sad little bit in this. In a write-up for EW's fall TV preview, it's teased that Frasier returns to Boston to reconnect with his son Freddie, who is not interested in fixing his relationship with his estranged father. In a further tease that is bound to upset fans of the original Cheers, it is mentioned that the sitcom's iconic bar no longer exists, that it was possibly destroyed. That's kind of sad.
It is. I mean, I've been to Bull and Finch.
So have I. I was there once.
It's not like Cheers at all.
It's
Um,
nothing like Cheers. It's more like a Northeast Philly bar.
yeah, so that is a reboot,
Yeah,
not a remake
not
or
a
a
remake.
anything. That is a reboot. As if you see the poster right there, Kevin Smith and Brody
That
explain what a reboot is. So, yeah, that is a reboot. I'll watch an episode depending on where it airs. It'll probably be on Peacock or something,
it
right?
is. It will be on Peacock. Fraser and Company, whoever it is that is the company that he hangs out with, will frequent a new tavern called Mahoney's, so named in tribute to late Frasier actor John Mahoney. That's actually really cool. I love when shows do stuff like that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a good nod. But I don't know that I need Frasier back hanging out in the bar. I don't think he spent time at
Uh,
the bar in Frasier, did he?
no, not really. Niles and Daphne will not be back.
Mm,
It's going to premiere on. Actually, it's going to premiere on Paramount Plus on October 12th. That's different.
that is bizarre.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking of Paramount, so Yellowwood's finally coming out on CBS.
I'm sorry. What is?
Your Yellowstone.
There you go.
Yellowwood? Yeah, Yellowstone.
Yellowwood.
Well, I saw so many ads this weekend for all of the other Taylor Sheridan spinoffs.
Yeah.
What's the new one that he has coming out?
I don't.
Baz.
I had stopped paying attention
Yeah,
because
he has another lawman with David Olio.
yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
I'll still watch Yellowstone though. I
Well,
will not
there won't be any
rewatch.
more of it. It's fine. You don't have to worry about
I
it.
will not rewatch Yellowstone. How's that?
Got it.
Uh,
Brandon, I see in the chat you hit the like button. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Theo Rossi. Do you know who Theo Rossi
I
is?
love Theo Rossi. Juice.
Okay. Okay.
He was
Um,
fantastic in the Aubrey Plaza Emily the Criminal as well.
okay. So he was doing a panel for his panel discussion for a crime filler that he's in called Emily the Criminal.
Oh, the one I
And
just mentioned. Look at that.
yeah. So he hinted at a potential project involving Charlie Hunnam and the rest of his former Sons of Anarchy co-stars. This has me curious, but like, huh? So when he was asked about a Sons of Anarchy spinoff, he smiled and replied, "There might be something coming up where we're all back together, which is insane. If it happens, it's wild. But if it doesn't, it would be perfect and really cool because we also talk every day." I can't see them doing anything. Half of that cast is dead in that world.
Yeah, so you don't have to bring back many people. It's cheap.
You have to bring back but you can't bring back Charlie. I mean, look,
Why not?
technically you never saw Jax's body, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Ah, I always wondered about
He's fine.
that.
He's still just being an awful father out there, destroying
No,
children's lives.
he's been a great dad. He sent his kids off to live in paradise with
No, he's awful.
Bail Organa.
He's ruined the whole show for me. Trying to follow him just being this awful father to Abel and ruining this kid's life.
He didn't really ruin the kids. He sent them away.
Look, here's what we've learned about Kurt Sutter, right?
Yes.
He's got one story that he plans on spending his entire life telling, and it involves motorcycle gangs in Southern California.
I'm fine with it.
So I feel like he has no choice now that the Mayans is done, but to go back to Sons of Anarchy.
Well, wait. He kind of got kicked off the Mayans after like the first season.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He hasn't been involved with the Mayans since like the first. Like,
did he do some things?
He said some stuff.
Got it.
Yeah, he said and did some stuff. I think it was not more like got canceled, more like he was an asshole on set. And
well, then that's fine. He can bring back SOA then. But yeah, if anybody hasn't seen Emily the Criminal, it's a great, just self-contained movie that's maybe an hour and a half long. It's fantastic. It's on Netflix.
If the strike ever ends, Beetlejuice 2, according to Tim Burton, has 2 days of filming left to shoot. It is 99% done.
I think I just saw a quote that Deadpool 3's in like the same boat where they're like almost wrapped.
I have that too. Yep, a little bit of that later. Are you excited to see Beetlejuice 2?
No, I don't really care.
No, I didn't think so.
Look, what I'm learning
Uh-huh.
as we get into this nostalgia phase or continue this nostalgia phase, right?
Mhm.
That we're not doing anything new and exciting with any of these properties. We're just continuing to rehash the same old stories and be like, you know what they loved in this one? Let me just do that again. And that what story beats they loved? Let me do that again. And the problem is a lot of those we have gotten so much more content since all of these things came out
Yeah.
that it doesn't work the same way anymore when you see any of this stuff. And look, this is just our generation finally coming into this problem, right? But like whenever you see Dial of Destiny, you may feel like you're watching an old school Indiana Jones movie.
I will see it this week.
But did you ever say, you know what I really need? I wish there would have been 4 really good Indiana Jones movies in the 80s and early 90s. No,
Yes.
you were probably like, no, those 3 are great.
No, 4 would have been fine in the 80s,
We'll
the
see.
90s.
We'll see what you say in a week.
Well, it's different that it's 2023, so it's different now than it was then. Like, I would have been happy
That's
with
what
it
I'm saying.
then because Harrison Ford was also 45 years younger back then.
He's 45 years younger in the start of the movie too. It's fine.
That's true.
So look, but like right. So if we would have had another Beetlejuice, then would it have been good? Sure.
Right.
But it wouldn't. But in looking back, it would have been good, maybe. But if it was made now, I wouldn't think it was good because they're going to try and hit those same story beats.
But to counter that, Maverick did the same thing and was sensational. Some stuff hits, some stuff doesn't hit.
Yeah, I don't know that Maverick hit the same story beats though.
Some of them, not all
Some,
of
but
them.
not as.
No,
Look, there was a reason it went through rewrites for as long as it did.
that depends if
Well
Jack.
done, Jack McGinty.
Jack.
I give him that one.
So you were talking about Max, HBO.
It was.
I have the top 10 trending movies and top 10 TV series. This was not included in my original I have lists for you thing.
It was
As of
not.
August 31st, I can go through them real quick. Number 1 is the Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets.
Heard it was great. I have zero interest in watching Aaron Rodgers do anything.
Same. Number 2, this is just TV series, by the way. Number 2 is And Just Like That. Not sure what that is.
That is the Sex and the City reboot.
Okay, no. Number 3, Winning Time, which is absolutely sensational.
Is it? All right. I will add it to my list.
That's you.
Dom, take a note that I need a list tracker now.
Jack McGinty is the one person that thought Maverick was laughable.
Unfortunately, Jack McGinty is from the generation that he thinks we're talking about the Mel Gibson, James Garner Maverick movie with Jodie Foster in the late 90s. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
Maverick, Jack.
We're talking about the Tom Cruise Maverick, Jack.
Number 4 is 90 Day, The Last Resort.
Okay.
Number 5, Telemarketers.
That looks interesting.
Number 6, The Other Way.
Nope.
Number 7, Sister Wives.
Nope.
And number 8 is Your Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it should be higher.
And then 9 is 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. And number 10 is Kim vs. Kanye, The Divorce.
Yeah,
This is not a ranking. This is what people are watching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that Kim and Kanye is so far down the list is amazing to me.
Well, now we get to the top 10 trending movies. Can you
Okay.
guess what the number 1 trending movie as of August 31st was?
No, what?
The Flash.
Well, that's fair. It'd only been out like a week at that point.
Number 2 is BS High.
Okay.
Number 3, shockingly, Get Hard, the Kevin Smith, Will Ferrell movie.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, him too. Kevin Hart.
It's a very different movie with Kevin Smith in it than Kevin Hart.
Yeah, it'll be a lot less N-words. Lot less. Number 4, again, these are shocking. Number 4, Twister. OG Twister.
Well, it's been in the news. Twister
has.
holds up. It's a great movie. The effects still hold up, honestly.
It does.
It's a great soundtrack.
Number 5, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Also a great movie. That's the first one, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that. 6, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah. Well, look, kids got to watch something too.
It's got to watch something. 7, Avatar. Yuck.
Still, I saw it once.
Yeah. 8, American Gangster. Great movie. Great movie. Love that movie.
I don't think.
Number 9 and 10 are kind of shocks.
Are they?
Yeah. 9, Miss Congeniality.
Okay.
And number 10, a movie I've seen more than once, Spaceballs.
Yeah, I think they cycle through and they just hit max.
Yeah.
Because they'll tend to lose stuff, and then they're like, "What's new?" And when you go into the app, it's here's your new stuff,
Mhm.
and they, I know I've seen most of those on there, and I'm like, well, I don't need to watch that movie again. But all of the movies I knew on that list all hold up. I
Yeah,
feel like
oh, absolutely. American Gangster, that's the one with Denzel, right? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a sucker for a mafia movie. Most mafia movies.
Yeah, I don't watch too many of them. I've seen a few, but not in my wheelhouse. I enjoyed the Mafia video game. Speaking of video games,
So did I. Oh, go ahead.
what else may have stopped you from watching anything for the last week, Frank?
So Starfield has me completely sucked in. My friend's on vacation this week that I usually play Destiny with, and he sent me a message as we're sitting here, and he said something, and I was like, "What are you doing tonight? Is it Starfield?" He's like, "What do you think I'm doing all week?" It's Starfield, and I'm running errands. Like it's just, and there's
Is he running errands in Starfield?
actually yes, you do that also.
Okay.
There was and I'm not going to get into the game, but there was a side quest, and it's a Bethesda game. There was a side quest that was so long and so deep that it could have been its own video game. It was that good.
Do you have the Nicolas Cage mirror yet?
I do not know what that
Okay.
was.
Apparently there's some mirror you can get in Starfield that is Nicolas Cage's face.
No, I do have the Mantis though,
Okay.
a Batman esque story.
Got it.
Secret cave, crime
Oh.
fighter kind of a person. And now that I have the Mantis and his ship, and when I warp into other solar systems, sometimes you get attacked, and when people start attacking me, you hear over the radio, "Oh no, it's the Mantis," and then they all leave.
Oh, well that's exciting.
Yeah, and the other really cool thing is there's people that have you can build your own ships in it, and you can build your own outposts, and people have created just about every famous movie or TV space faring ship that you can think of.
I'm
The
sure.
the only thing I have not seen yet is a Galactica.
Okay.
I have seen the Falcon, X-wings, Y-wings, Star Destroyers, Mass Effect spaceship, um, um, and then someone built a ship that was just a big square with nothing in the middle because Bethesda's AI targets the middle of the ship, and they figured that out. So they built a ship that was just a big square with nothing in the middle.
Just like a
So when he
donut.
fights, yeah, when he gets in fights, the enemy ships just shoot into the middle of his ship, and he doesn't take damage.
That's interesting.
Kind of ingenious. But yes, that game has literally sucked my life out of me.
Well, that's exciting. I'm still 3 video games behind, so
Oh, yeah, this game. This is a
yeah,
90
I'll never play it.
hour. It's something to do instead of watching TV and dulling my senses.
Yeah. It's good. Speaking of dulling your senses,
Yes. So, uh,
about the Wheel of Time.
yeah, we can do that now. What? So, what did you think of this? You're caught up.
Yeah, of course.
What did you think of the last episode?
So yeah, so last time we talked, I was 2 episodes behind, right?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Um, so look, I think the show's great. It's my concern with it, and I forget what show I just watched recently that I had the problem with, was like, I don't know how I'm gonna remember all these fantasy characters and all this stuff. I remember all of it. And it's been what, a solid like 2 years, because I want to say it came out during the pandemic, the first one. It was in the early days of the of Geek
Yeah,
Spot News.
with the Wheel of Time stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm really enjoying it. I like where they're going with plot lines. I don't, and I know that it's very different from the books at this point. They're just throwing the books out the window for the most part.
Yeah.
And one of the things I saw, and some spoilers for the
Mhm.
books here, and The Witcher, which I know you're all caught up on. It's
Yeah.
on your list too.
Yeah. Never.
So in that, they have a powerful sorceress character as well. That's one of the leads,
Hmm.
Yennefer, who's not really in the second book.
Right.
similar to where they're at in Wheel of Time with what's her name, Moraine.
Marine.
So their choice for that season was to depower her and let her just kind of run around as like support and doing her own quest and going through how she lost her power and how she works to get it back so she can be ready to go in season 3.
Well, the differences in this is there's so let me see if I can explain this fast and more and concise. The way the one power works in Wheel of Time is women have Sadar and men have Sadin. And the men's power has a taint to it. Okay? And you've seen it when the men do their weaves, there's this black goo that like creeps along it. That's
Everybody's taint gets some sometimes.
everybody's taint. So the women, you can shield them and then you can cut them off from the source. And when you cut them off from the source, the one power, it pulls something out of you and leaves you empty inside. There is no way to heal that at this point in time. In the books, way down the line in the books, way, way, way down the line.
We have 15 books, so like
Right. Like
realistically, we're not getting there.
book 8 to 10, if I recall correctly, they figure out, Nynaeve figures out accidentally how to heal and restore a woman. And when she does it, she restores someone's power less than at what their power was before.
Yeah.
But if she links with a man, and you can link with a man, the power is restored above what you were before.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of people think that this Moraine storyline is running along similar to other people that have this happen to them later down the line in the books.
Yeah, it's realize not every show can have a budget of Game of Thrones where they introduce 7,000 different actors.
Fair.
So how do we take the storylines that everybody enjoyed from the books and throw them onto this subset of characters that we have and can afford and can work with for these things because they're under contracts?
Right.
Which
they're focusing more on some characters in the show that didn't get a ton of focus in the books.
Got it.
And it's okay. Like I said last week, I've stepped away from the books while I'm watching the show, and I'm enjoying the show for what it is.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's great still. I'm enjoying every episode. I like where they're going with things. I like the power sets. I for some reason did not see the latest twist coming. Because I'm dumb apparently. So that was actually a nice change there, and we're continuing to see the
that all got fast forwarded a lot too.
yeah, the Wolfie guy do his thing and start to evolve. I like where they're going with that too.
That actually was so incredibly well done, and the way they explained it, and the way he's visualizing, seeing. So the wolves don't speak to you the way we speak; they speak through pictures. And him showing the wolf jumping up and down. The wolf's name's Hopper, and that was that whole thing was so much better done on the TV show than the book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So all right. So they're making some good choices then.
They are. They are.
Good, but yeah. So that's I think we get like 5 more episodes of that. I think 10 episodes.
It's like 8 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 8, and then I have no idea what the hell happens after that.
So we're 4 in, and who knows if they get another season.
I mean, they definitely get a third season. It's just when do they get to do a third season?
Well, do they definitely get a third season though?
They got picked up for 3.
Okay, cool.
Right after one started, they got 2 and 3 right away.
Got it, because One Piece still not picked up for season 2 because there's no way to pick anybody up for anything right now. I think, and and League of Their Own canceled during the strike. Which first season of League of Their Own was great.
Drew Barrymore's, she's going ahead with her talk show, even through the strike. She's filming her talk show.
I don't know who's writing it.
She's got people. She's paying people to write it. Like she's got people, and apparently there was this little thing, and I wasn't going to even bring it up, but because you mentioned that, she had an audience the other day while they were taping a show, and 2 of the audience member had pins supporting the strike, and they got thrown out. and now they regret that happening.
I'm sure the show regrets that.
Yeah. Do some do
I will look that up.
that's some weird.
I'll say from the flip side of that, and it's as a show, we're only on an hour a week, so I know some of you have time to listen to other shows. Um, there is currently one called Strike Force 5
Mhm.
that I'm enjoying immensely. That is Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver
Okay, that sounds cool.
hanging out, and it's sponsored by people that we are not sponsored by that have a lot of money,
Right.
that are using that advertising platform from the podcast to
Mhm.
pay the crews of those shows.
That's good. Is
All
Jimmy
of the
still
money just goes to the crew because all 5 of them have been paying their crew since the beginning of May.
is Jimmy giving out extra bonuses this week?
He might be. Um, but it's called Strike Force 5. It's anywhere you get podcasts. I think there might be a video version too, but the more views they get, the more their guys are going to make.
That's pretty cool.
So I would just stop by, give them at least half an episode or something, just to help boost the money for their crews, because they are paying not just their writers but their whole stage crews, all their production staff. It's like 200 people a show. These guys
Yeah,
have been shelling out money for it the whole time.
that's awesome of them to do that.
Ryan Reynolds is one of the big sponsors, so Ryan Reynolds is now
Uh,
paying all of those people's salaries.
That's cool. Um, all right, I'm gonna go through these really fast because there's some of these we didn't watch. So before we get into the other stuff, these are our 21 TV show finales that were either perfect or flopped. Now,
Ooh.
I was going to say half of these we didn't watch and we're not going to even sit and talk about, but a few we have. So the one, not the number one, but in the order of this list, this is from BuzzFeed. One that flopped, Pretty Little Liars, was not on my radar ever.
Not a surprise. The show got really weird
Okay.
as it went. It
Okay.
started off as just like an AMC family show that
Mhm.
probably shouldn't have been on any channel that said family, and then it got really like out there and weird, teeny bopper ish.
Okay. It wasn't the end of it. Was the end of it the one where like the oh no, that was Gossip Girl. Never
It's
mind.
spun off like through into multiple other shows too. So
Um a perfect finale. Now, this is just the finale, not the whole last season. This is the
yeah,
Mad Men, which I
okay,
never watched and I heard was really, really good.
yeah. It is one of the few shows on my list that I have not gotten to. That,
Okay.
Succession, and now Winning Time.
Same. Same.
Yeah.
Except for winning time. This one flopped and I spent a long time watching this and I don't hate the finale as much as everyone else does, but Lost. There's no list about flop finales that doesn't contain Lost.
Look, so I don't think the finale flopped.
I don't think it did.
Um, what I will say I enjoyed is, speaking of Jimmy Kimmel and those guys, after the Lost finale, they went and did like 6 alternate endings on Jimmy Kimmel.
See,
So it's hilarious.
I enjoyed when Kimmel did that stuff, like he did the scene with Batman and with Clark and Bruce Wayne meeting.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, look, Kimmel was brilliant in his first like 10 years or so,
He
and
wa-
now he was supposed to retire during this and they went on strike
Now
and he couldn't retire.
he misses working, so maybe he's
Yeah,
not going to retire.
we'll see.
Um, a perfect finale, MASH, perfect. Still one of the best finales ever.
Still, I believe the most watched episode of TV ever.
I believe it was like 40 million people or
Yeah,
something.
like they'll never hit those numbers they hit with that.
No, no.
Oh, you know what? Was Seinfeld close? I feel like Seinfeld might have been close.
Seinfeld was close. Dom, you grabbed it right by the bullet by the horns, flopped the Big Bang Theory. I tapped out 2 seasons before the finale. I just couldn't take it anymore.
I
I
did go
tried.
back and watch the finale, and it didn't make any sense for anything that I'd watched on the show before.
That's the problem with a show like that. The only thing I watched over the last couple of seasons was the Dungeons and Dragons episode with
Will
Joe
Wheaton.
and Kevin Smith and Will Wheaton. It was cute in the beginning, and then it just kind of went off the rails. It just got dumb.
It didn't have a choice. It was a long time to
Yeah.
try and tell the same stories over, because
Yeah.
there's not that many
No.
things that you can translate to everyone to understand.
Another one. This is perfect. I never watched the show. Kevin Can F Himself.
Also on my list. So it's starring. It was on AMC. You're not an AMC guy.
Apparently.
The female star was just in the season premiere of Black Mirror this season, and she's also from Schitt's Creek. I think she's the daughter of Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Um, was that a boom or bust?
That was a perfect. That was a
Okay,
perfect.
I'll finally end up
And I'm
watching
and
that
I'm
show then.
yeah. Here's one that flopped. Charmed. Never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, once they got Rose McGowan on there, it got weird.
Oh, Dom, you're an awful person.
Am I thinking Rose McGowan? Yeah, she
Yeah,
replaced Shannon Doherty. Yeah, yeah. Once she got on there, it got weird.
this next one is actually on my list, my real list.
Sure.
A perfect ending manifest.
Yeah, yeah. Said that on this
You
very
have,
podcast.
I know.
That show from start to finish was everything that everybody wanted Lost to be.
Yeah, that's why it'll be there. Here's one that flopped, and this is the show that I absolutely despise now. Seinfeld. Awful ending. Awful finale.
I didn't watch it.
That was horrible. It was just stupid.
I mean, like Seinfeld. I like barely
Yeah,
watched
no, I
Seinfeld.
wasn't. I wasn't a big fan of. I watched a little bit in the early years, and then perfect ending. White collar.
I didn't see the finale, but I always enjoyed the show. USA finales were tricky because they weren't like a big deal. It was just it would end.
Right. Here's a flop. Killing Eve. So
It got weird in the second season, and then the third season it ended, and it was a weird dynamic anyway between Sandra Oh and
yeah,
Eve.
yeah. Perfect. Better things.
Nope, don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Flopped. Supernatural.
I heard that. I tapped out about 15 seasons before it ended, though. So
Yeah, so did I. Now my son has watched that show front to back like 3 or 4 times. He loves that show.
wow,
Yeah,
he should watch Manifest and tell you all about it.
but he doesn't watch a lot of TV.
Got it.
Perfect. The Golden Girls. I
Okay.
don't remember it, but I'll go.
I
Okay.
mean, I would assume it set up the Golden Palace or whatever.
I
The Golden Nugget. What was the spinoff?
don't remember, and
Golden Pines.
the jokes that are coming through my mind are not going out on the air.
That's fine. It's
Yep.
fair.
Yep. Here's a flop. We're almost done. Flopped Veronica Mars.
Uh, well, what's the finale? Because the
This
movie was great.
Yeah, this looks like her older. So I'm guessing it's the movie.
The movie wasn't bad, but the movie came out
Maybe
like
the
10
series
years later
finale.
and wrapped it up.
Maybe the series finale is what flopped.
Could be. The
Okay.
series. Well, that was why they did the movie. Because everybody's like, wait a minute, you're not done.
This says 4 by 8. So what was it? 4 seasons?
It sounds right.
Okay.
It's more than 8 episodes, though.
Perfect. And this is another one that I really do want to watch. More because I see the memes all the time. Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Yep. Flopped Major Crimes.
Yes.
Didn't
Which
watch
one was that? Who's it say was in that?
Female lead Sharon Rader. It looks like the chick that played the president in Battlestar Galactica.
It is. It is. It was a spin-off of
Battlestar Galactica?
of Kira Sedgwick's show, the Closer.
Okay.
It was a continuation of the Closer.
Not good.
I mean, look, it's one of those when my wife leaves on whatever channel that is that only airs like SVU episodes and Unforgettable
Right.
and like those things. It's on there all the time. It was like a TBS show
Gotcha.
that new episodes were like 6 o'clock on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh.
yeah,
Perfect. Parks and Rec. Absolutely
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
The whole last season was great. Flopped Gilmore Girls. Didn't watch it.
Are we going series or movie again? Because they did do a reboot of that on Netflix. That was
No, this is the final episode.
Okay, I didn't watch the original.
And the last 2, well, it's 1 and then a bonus one. Perfect ending, perfect series finale. Friends. I wasn't the biggest Friends fan, but the finale was pretty damn good. It just it was a nice send off to a show.
Yeah, I can I can quote all sorts of episodes, but never really was heavy into it.
Yeah,
I will say what's not on this list, that White Collar being on here and Burn Notice not being on here is upsetting.
and Game of Thrones is not on here. The last one, a perfect finale, was 6 Feet Under, and I think you've talked about that show.
Oh my God. So good.
Yeah.
From start to finish. That show has one of the most disturbing episodes of TV I've ever watched.
You said that a couple different times.
But it's so good. And it was an episode where one of the leads is kidnapped, and it plays it from his perspective, the whole thing, and it's like, and it's not like a scary kidnap. It's just like random in the middle of the street for no reason. Dude in LA grabs him and throws him in a van, and while he's on the run from other stuff. It's a very intense episode. I would highly recommend going back and watching any and all of 6 Feet Under. Phenomenal cast. Everybody on the show was unbelievably good.
Before we go to Ahsoka ish, the couple little Marvel things I have are Deadpool things.
Heard of it?
Yeah, Deadpool director Sean Levy confirms that some of the rumors surrounding Deadpool 3 cameos are true, but others are not. The internet has created a buzz around a potential cast, but not everything should be believed. They went to great lengths to avoid filming on sound stages with digital environments and referenced the set leaks that occurred as a result. Principal photography did come to an end, and that's pretty much where we're at.
I'm nervous about this film because of the amount of hype.
Same, because we got that hype with Doctor Strange that this was it. This was setting up the multiverse, and it was a giant wet fart.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the news that Dom showed me earlier, which was, hold on, you're gonna love this. You'll love this. The top choice to direct Avengers: Secret Wars is Sam Raimi, which goes hand in hand with this article where Sean Levy remains tight-lipped about the rumors of him directing Avengers: Secret Wars, only saying that he read the rumor. I think they're not going to pick a director for that until Deadpool 3 comes out. If Deadpool 3 does really better than Doctor Strange did, that maybe they'll give it to Sean over Sam. That's my hope.
If Deadpool's release date doesn't move,
Right.
they can wait that long to make a decision.
Right.
But if that movie is going to be as big as they say it's going to be, it's going to need a full 2 years of like production after filming. Because I mean, Endgame had finished filming 2 years before they released it. So,
right.
And look, I'm not. Marvel does not currently have my trust for quality product anymore. So
not the way it did. It definitely doesn't.
So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping the Marvels is as fun as it looks, and I can just take a step back and enjoy that.
I hope so.
I do say, and I saw an article about this the other day, that I am very sad that we don't get to see Brie Larson and Iman Vellani hanging out and promoting this movie, because they look like they have a blast together.
Like the original, like the Avengers cast when they were going around at first.
Look, the lost Dom in the chat. Saying he wishes they would bring back the Russos and Marcus and McFeely. I feel since they lost Marcus and McFeely, or any consistent writer across multiple movie projects, they have lost that interconnected tissue that they had through the first 3 phases. Because Marcus and McFeely wrote on Captain America, Thor, The Dark World, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and I think they consulted on Ragnarok and one of the other ones, Age of Ultron, maybe a little bit, but their fingerprints were all over the first 3 phases of Marvel, and when we lost them, it lost a lot of that throughput that they were putting in there. There's a great interview actually with Kevin Smith, who was in that movie Get Hard with Will Ferrell.
Yes,
Um,
good Kevin Smith movie.
yeah, yeah. Him and Mark Bernard did a fantastic interview with the McFeely's back right after Endgame came out. So
Oh, cool. All right. Let's just dive right into the show that you think is boring as hell.
I've only fallen asleep through 2 of the 4
4
episodes.
episodes. 2 of the 4. All right. So if you haven't seen Ahsoka episode 4, this is your warning to jump out now. A little later than normal, but we're at 50 minutes in. So if you have seen it, hang around. If you have not, listen back to the podcast later after you have seen Ahsoka and tell us what you thought about it. What did you think about it? Obviously, I know part of your answer.
Look, we ended up on another planet and we did some stuff, and the story may or may not be moving forward. We got Kim's Convenience Store pilot back, which is cool. And we saw Ahsoka fight with one lightsaber a lot, which was weird.
Go ahead.
And I would have I the lightsaber fights aren't as impressive as I'd like them to be, and I don't think they'll ever be as impressive as the animated ones.
Or as impressive as the Revenge of the Sith ones? The one?
Look, I thought Attack of the Clones had some better lightsaber fights than anything. The one with Dooku and Yoda is still one of my favorite lightsaber fights ever.
Yep.
And I don't think we've gotten that in a lot of these things. And I think it was on the show last week we talked about it with my thoughts on Ahsoka as a character in general. I'm still not that interested in old Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Which is how the character is being played. Like the Ahsoka I remember is like flips and jumping all over the place and tuck rolls and doing all sorts of crazy stuff with her lightsaber. And like I'm not getting any of that. I'm just getting like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars: The New Hope, which dink, But then they're fine after they get dinked. But I think the show is fine. It's not. I'm not loving it though.
See, I thoroughly love the last episode. Like, I really, really, really love the last episode. Now, one of the things that I predicted was going to happen did not happen. Look, you're even yawning during it now.
Yeah, you're talking about Ahsoka. I'm taking a nap.
So, when I thought that when she fought Shin in the forest, when Sabine fought Shin in the forest, I thought she was going to get a little force pull and do something cool there, and she didn't. She did something else cool. She used her Mandalorian tricks and shot the lightsaber out of her hand, which was
Right.
cool. So the reason, and I was looking this up because I wanted to find a reason for it because I was sure. The reason that she only fought with one blade was because you get more precision with one blade, which is useful for slicing through an opponent rather than with two, where you're not going to be able to have that. You're not going to be able to parry as well, especially over someone you see that is much bigger and more imposing than you. Maul wasn't bigger and more imposing than she was. They were a little bit of the same build. Balin is a bigger, beefy guy.
Yeah.
With a lot more power, just natural power.
Yeah, but only because she doesn't do any of the acrobatics that I want from Ahsoka.
Right. I get that part of it. Apparently, this lightsaber battle between her and Balin, which I thought was really excellent. I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best that they've shown so far. The Sabine and Shin one wasn't awful either. That was a little faster, a little less slow paced. This one was the first time that two unique fighting styles were showcased, where Ahsoka was more of a samurai and Balin was more of a knight with like a broadsword, kind of and it's a shame. It's a shame we're not going to get any more from him going forward because I think he would have made a great recurring character down the line in Star Wars.
Yeah, I bet they had big plans for him, honestly.
I'm sure they did.
And if he makes it through the show. Let's be honest, most of these shows anymore that are tied to anything Disney don't keep the bad guys around.
That's true.
They're all really good at eliminating their bad guy at the end of the movie.
Do you think, before we get to the whole ending part, which is the whole crux of the show, do you think based on the little picture that's on her dashboard, that we're going to get a live action Kanan, maybe in flashbacks, and that Freddie Prinze is going to
No,
pop in as him. You don't think
no,
so at all?
I don't think we'll get Kanan at
Not
all.
even a flashback?
No, which continues to go to the problem with the show. Like the vast majority of the people watching the show never watched Rebels, never watched Clone
True.
Wars because they don't watch cartoons, or they
Yeah,
don't
there's
want
that.
to invest the time to watch all those things because
Um,
it is not a small commitment. Either
no,
one of
it's
those
definitely
shows.
not. Even if you take the episodes that they tell you to watch, that's still a ton of episodes,
That's still like 20 plus episodes, right?
plus the whole season of Rebels.
Yeah.
Well, not all of it, but there's still a lot.
Yeah, it's a big commitment, and then I still don't think that you get the full Ahsoka story without watching like all of the show. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then, like I said, it's just I didn't love what they did with Ahsoka and Rebels in general,
Mhm.
so it's still tough for me.
Did
And I love Rosario Dawson. I was really excited to see what she does with the role.
did you did you expect Sabine to hand over the map?
Uh,
What a shock.
no. All right, hey Dom, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
As
Dom,
always, man. Thanks for hanging out.
thanks for watching. Accept the L, Dom. Accept it. Um, I didn't expect her at first, and then the more they went on, I really did expect it. Like that she was gonna.
Yeah, it's always hard to say.
What? So, what did you think of the very end
With
with the person that appeared with her?
yeah, well, we're spoilers, so we've been spoiling.
Saying that because it might not be who you think it is.
Oh, who do you think it is? You don't think
Well, I
it's
don't
going to be
know. That's
Anakin?
just it. So at
I
the
mean,
very,
it's going to be my question is she back on the crossroads?
she's in the world between worlds. Yes,
Right.
that
Which
she is.
okay, so
That's
cool.
the live action version of it.
Yeah, okay.
So him saying you're here sooner than I expected you to be here. So I was explaining this to a guy at work. There were a couple little things, and I went back and looked it up too because I wasn't. I thought I saw something, and I did. So apparently, the lightsaber on Anakin's hip is Darth Vader's hilt, and the Anakin that's there doesn't have the scar on his eye, and it.
she didn't know him before he had the scar on his eye though.
Okay, that I wasn't sure about that. I was going to ask you about that. That's perfect. So that makes sense for that.
Wait, maybe
But
she
did
did.
she-
When did he get the
the
scar? No,
scar was
well,
the scar was with Dooku, right?
yeah, but it was off camera,
Right.
right?
Right, and the Dooku thing was before Order 66, so she did, because she saw him at the very end when he looked back at her and he handed her the new
Well,
lightsaber.
look, yeah, but she also fought with him in Rebels, so like she knows Darth. It's
Right,
weird because she knows Darth.
right, and he called her Snips, and everybody got all emotional, and I watched some of the reaction videos, and
Yeah,
I so this episode coming up, the 5th episode is a Dave Filoni directed episode.
yeah. It's also being released in theaters,
Yeah, I know. So is
and
this
it's
the
called
episode?
Master and Apprentice.
So the whole theme of the whole series has been masters and apprentices, right?
Yeah,
Basically. So is this the episode we get Ezra? We get a glimpse of Ezra, we
no,
get a tease of it at the end?
no, no.
Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit more Anakin and her focused, you think?
Yeah, look, I want Thrawn and I want Ezra and I want to start moving the story. Let's go.
Well,
Instead, we're gonna get an episode of flashbacks.
and then at the very end of the episode, she's gonna use the world between worlds to
And
to go and get where she needs to get.
and pop back out and just be like, "Hey, I'm super mystic, survive everything, Ahsoka."
Well, I mean, Ezra pulled her out once
Right, right, because
and
she
then put her
should have.
right back.
No,
Not right back, but he put her back in that same moment for the most part.
well, after everything was done.
Right, but she
No, he
had
brought her to the present. I thought
no. Uh-uh.
because that was years ago.
Right.
and he brought her out.
He had to it's like the Infinity Stones. He had to put her back at the moment that she left, basically. But she had more awareness of what to do to get out of there, I think, and
Mm,
then she met him in the future.
God, I'll have to watch that episode again.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
pretty sure that's how that worked. Because otherwise he would have pulled Kanan out, and that would have wrecked everything from that moment forward. So if he pulls her out of that moment and keeps her out of that moment, it changes everything going forward from that moment.
yeah, I mean, they didn't get into time travel rules really.
Which is good because travel rules are really wonky.
Yeah, which is why we didn't need it, but it's fine.
I personally am enjoying the hell out of it.
I know.
I'm really liking it, and I loved seeing him show up, and the smirk that he gave her was the same smirk from the last time he saw her in the cartoon when he was walking out the door and he turned back to her and she said something about be careful and he just kind of smirked at her and walked away.
Right.
I enjoyed those similarities. I'm a sucker.
Understandable. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. We'll see what happens with Anakin and Ahsoka this week on the
Tonight is
latest
actually
installment.
the very last night that the McMahons own the WWE. Tomorrow the sale becomes official and Endeavor now is partnered with them or
Oh, look
ins
at that. And hey, and we will have an Aquaman full trailer to talk next week too. It drops in another 3 days.
Oh yeah, the full one?
That's yeah, that's why I said there was a teaser last
Oh,
night during Sunday Night Football
yeah, to watch it.
that talked about the Aquaman trailer coming in 4 days. So to everybody watching, listening, thank you as always for finding the Geek Spot with us. If you're on the podcast realm, drop us a rating, subscribe, tell a friend. Same thing on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Help spread the word, get some more people joining in the conversation. Always a good time.
Oh
And,
wow.
you can check me out at jackkidmusic.com. I got a couple gigs this weekend in the city and around it. And
I've got
Frank,
nothing. I got nothing.
awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.